Are you feeling overwhelmed? Hey everyone, it's Emily, the Career Catalyst. So the sense of being overwhelmed is definitely something that's really normal and a lot of us face fairly often. I would say probably everyone faces it, at least periodically. But the bad news, of course, is that what happens when we're feeling it is we start feeling kind of stuck and a little bit paralyzed. So today I'm just going to talk to you about some very easy steps you can take when you are feeling really overwhelmed to get you out of that place of being stuck. So the first thing I want you to do when all of the tension starts building and building and building and everything feels really crazy is just to stop right then and there and take a few deep breaths. What happens when we're really stressed out and overwhelmed is that our cortisol levels start going crazy. And the deal with cortisol is that it's great when it's going to save you from being attacked by a bear. Or Freddy, or whatever the threat is. When there's an actual threat, it's a really good spark to get us to do what we need to do. The problem is most of us now deal with chronic stress. And that's the stuff that the fight or flight response doesn't help us in. And so often what we tend to do is just freeze in the moment. So to deal with that cortisol, you're going to just take some really deep cleansing breaths, and that's going to help re-engage your prefrontal cortex, which is your executive functioning part of your brain. So take some nice deep breaths. If you really want to tap into your zone of genius, put your hand over your heart and really feel your heart beating in your chest rising and falling. Few seconds and you're just going to tap back into your ability to make executive functioning decisions, right? And then what I want you to do is think about all of these goals that you have to do and why it's so overwhelming, and just go ahead and put it all down on a piece of paper. As I probably mentioned before, I'm a big fan of handwriting things. I think it really kind of engages the mind-body connection a little bit more. I happen to remember things a lot better when I write them down, and I feel like there's kind of a more actionable step I've taken when I do it longhand. But you can certainly use your phone, or you can type it in the computer, or whatever makes sense to you. Just take the notes and get everything down. Once you actually have a visual of it, then I think that feels a little bit better, but also what you can do then is kind of block things together. So you can connect this thing goes with this thing and so forth. And then what I want you to do is kind of write down your bigger goals. This is the end product. And then write down all of the steps that you're going to need to accomplish to get to that bigger goal. From there, I want you to choose one, just one, because more than one is going to be overwhelming again and you're going to stay stuck. So choose one. And break each of those steps down into really small, very accomplishable action steps. They have to be small and they have to be accomplishable, because otherwise, again, you're going to stay in that place of being stuck. So in a perfect world, the first few steps that you're going to take are going to just be a few minutes of effort on your part. And that's because once you start really accomplishing things, you get this nice little positive feedback in your brain like, oh, I did it. Yay me, right? And once you begin to feel like, oh, I'm accomplishing things, yes, I'm making this work, then everything gets kind of aligned, and then you can keep taking actions, and you're in a better place to make larger actions. So start with those small steps. Write them down. Write down all of the things you need to do, and then again, just choose one. Look at that list. Think, okay, I'm feeling really tired. I'm going to do this one step. It's going to take me 3 minutes. And then you're going to get a little bit of a reward. Hey, I did the step. Yay. And then you might take another one. In a perfect world, I'd like you to be taking a minimum of 5 of these each day. The reality is some days you're going to have all kinds of energy because you're going to get motivated from taking your smaller steps, and you're going to do more than 5. That's fabulous. Yay you. But some days you're just going to be tired and you're not going to have the energy to do even the full 5, and that's okay. Give yourself a break. Be very kind to yourself. And really just add some smaller steps that you can do the following day. Now, here's the trick. If you start an action step and it feels like it's too much, you haven't broken it down, it's not small enough. So really block things out in very small steps and you're going to start seeing the progress. Here's the other trick. I want you to be very careful that you're writing this stuff down. You have to write it down for a couple of reasons. One is that you're going to then see the progress that you're making, which is very cool. It's going to keep you engaged and motivated and moving forward. And two, as you're writing things down, you're also keeping a record of what you've accomplished. And this gets really useful when it's time, for example, for raises at the office. If your boss comes to you and says, hey, we're thinking about raises now, tell me why you deserve one, you now have a written body of proof about why you deserve one. So very cool and easy way to begin to measure your own success. So again, when you start feeling freaked out, overwhelmed, oh my gosh, everything is too much, just stop yourself, take a breath, and start writing things down that you can take action on right away. So I also want to let you know that I have some really exciting things coming up, so stay tuned. And if you are feeling like your job is what's keeping you really stuck in the world and you can't figure out what those small steps are to get out of your job and into one that you really enjoy, then I would say start thinking about whether you would like some career counseling for the holidays. I've got you covered there. I hope you're doing really well, and definitely let me know if you need more of a conversation around this or if you have any questions about what this is going to look like for you in your particular situation. All right, everyone, have a fabulous weekend. I will see you next week.